Alright children, gather around the campfire. I'm Calabar Zero, and this is a story all about how my life got flip-turned... Sorry, this is a story about a game called EVE Online. So, a long time ago, there was a genre of games called MMORPGs, massively multiplayer online role-playing games. And, these games actually catered to a very niche group of people who had a lot of time and weren't afraid of chatting with other people. And the reason for that is because these early MMOs actually required a lot of time to dedicate to them in order to, I guess, get good at them. And in order to complete objectives, oftentimes you had to work with other people and talk to them to get things done. But at the same time, this also meant that it was very hard to do anything alone. If you couldn't play for like several hours a day, or you were shy and you didn't really want to talk to people online, it would be very difficult for you to do anything in these MMOs. And I guess to give you an example, one of the earliest MMOs I've played before World of Warcraft was around was a game called Final Fantasy XI. And in that game, what you had to do was, in order to level up, you had to manually find 5 other people that was around your level to party with, and then you had to go to a map that had monsters that were either your level or slightly stronger than you, and the 5 of you would go to that map, find a spot that was hopefully not taken on that map. You would pull each monster one at a time and slowly kill them and gain EXP that way. Now, if a game like that were to come out today, everyone would like revile in horror and proclaim how terribly grindy the game is. But that's how it was in the early days, and I guess in some ways it was actually a lot of fun, because when you're sitting in a single spot for hours and hours on end, talking to people, you actually get to know some people. You get to forge friends that way, and sometimes you even get to you get to party with the same people over and over again, and you all get to level up together, and it was fun. But not everyone had that same experience. Some people would play the game and they wouldn't be able to get into it because of the amount of time dedicated. Everyone's already high leveled and such, and I guess that's kind of what made MMOs back then pretty niche. So what happened a little while later was, along comes Blizzard, and they have this shiny new MMO called World of Warcraft. And what World of Warcraft did differently from the other MMOs back then was they actually catered to the people who may not have like the same amount of time to spend as other MMO players back in the day, or they might be shy. They did this by designing their game so that you could easily progress through the game alone. You didn't have to go out and manually search for people and find like parties and such. You just quested and you leveled up, and it brought a lot of people to the MMO genre. A lot of people who would have thought that MMOs were dull and boring now suddenly found like some fun in playing these games. And it was a great success for Blizzard. More people started playing MMOs, Blizzard got a lot of money, and everyone was happy. But Blizzard's MMO, because it was such a huge success, it changed the MMO industry pretty much forever. I'd wager to say that every game since Blizzard's World of Warcraft has taken aspects of World of Warcraft in some way, shape, or form. Blizzard's World of Warcraft suddenly became the epitome of genericness within the MMO industry. Games like WildStar and Terra all use Blizzard's theme park design as the way to progress through the game. You start at level 1, you pick up all the quests you can, traveling from quest hub to quest hub, and that's pretty much how that's pretty much what defines MMOs these days. You go from level 1 to level whatever the maximum level is, you hit endgame, you do raids, and I think all of that started with Blizzard's success with World of Warcraft. But now I'm actually beginning to see that developers and players kind of want more than just the now generic theme park design of MMOs. Developers are starting to create, I guess, sandboxes again, which is great. And so now we have games like Crowfall coming out, EverQuest next. We have some indie devs like Star Vault and Mortal Online creating these great sandboxes. ArcAge was supposed to be a sandbox. I think I remember reading an article about how the dev wanted to merge like the old style MMOs like Final Fantasy XI and the new style MMOs like World of Warcraft together to create this sandbox theme park hybrid. And that's great. And while all of these new MMOs are coming out, I think it's always nice to come back and see what happened to all the old MMOs. And unfortunately, most of them are gone. But there are still a few surviving ones that are still thriving. EVE Online is one of them, of course. And that's this game, by the way, the spaceship game. Everyone still talks about EVE. It's a great game that that makes a lot of stories. It's really hard to talk about EVE and not make it sound interesting. That's what I think, anyways. But I think the fact that EVE has actually withstood the, I guess, WoW MMO apocalypse change, whatever you want to call it, stands. I think that really shows like how great of a game EVE Online is, and what makes EVE different from MMOs today is there's no focus on grinding. Like, there is no max level. There is no traditional end game. There is just you, and what you want to do. So, like, for example, I'm not fighting anything right now. At the moment, I'm doing an activity called exploring. And, of course, some guy is already here. He already found this before me. And he's already, like, opening these crates and hacking them and stuff. So, we're just going to leave him alone, and we're going to go into a different system. But, EVE Online is different because there's no level cap or anything. Technically there is a level cap, but it would require 20, from what I've heard, 20 years of waiting or something to actually achieve that. The way progression works in this game is you have skills, and what these skills do is they make your everything stronger. They let you use new equipment, and they go from level 1 to level 5, level 5 being the highest. And in order to level up your skills, you actually don't do anything. You just sit and you wait for your skills to level. And while you're waiting for your skills to level, you you play the game. And that's really about it. You can do whatever you want on EVE Online. You can even scam people. That's a thing that people do. There are limits to that, though. You can't, like, if you scam someone and it involves real money, then you will get a ban. But if it's just in-game items, then scamming is completely allowed. The entire game is run on a player-based economy, and that's not something that you see very often in games.
Warp drive active.
It's just a completely different experience from all of these theme park MMOs, and I honestly feel like that newer MMO should, I guess, take after EVE a little, because, well, not every MMO has to be about combat, endgame, or raiding, and yeah.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So, I know a lot of people, at least, yeah, I know a lot of people that I've talked to have told me that they don't want to play EVE because it's a giant spreadsheet or whatever. And I guess if I open all of these windows, it probably would look like a giant spreadsheet or something. But that's not necessarily true. There's more to EVE than just building stuff. Let's get that blueprint thing out of there. The way you customize your ship, the way you play the game, it's really up to you how you want to play the game. Do you just want to explore and completely avoid all combat? You can do that. In fact, this ship is actually just built straight for exploration. There's no, like, guns or anything. There's no, there's just nothing that screams, I can kill anyone. If you want to do PvE content, there's a lot of that for you. If you just want to sit and mine while listening to, like, podcasts or whatever, you can do that. How you play the game is completely up to you. So, we're going to continue exploring. There's 2 more spots over here. Did I forget? Oh no, I have all my scanner probes here. We're going to load these up to onto the probe launcher, and then we're going to launch them. Oh god, completely lost my train of thought. So I'm gonna continue off with where I think I left off. Anyways, if you really want to play, like, a high-quality sandbox game, I very much suggest EVE Online. It's one of the few games that is still around, still being updated very frequently. In fact, it gets updates once a month. It's been around since before World of Warcraft, and it's still being enjoyed by, well, pretty much the players of the game. Everyone is on one giant server. They've had the whole mega server thing before ESO started doing it. And that's about it, really. I could probably talk more about EVE, since it's very, very hard to it's very, very hard to try and describe EVE in a 15-minute video, but I just wanted to, I guess, tell a little story about how EVE came to be, I guess, and how how it survived the whole shifting of direction, I guess, in the MMO industry. And I very much suggest that if you haven't tried it yet and you really love MMOs, I really suggest picking up EVE. You can get a 30-day free trial on the website, and you can actually get it on Steam too. Actually, if you buy EVE on Steam, you get a whole bunch of like bonus items that you could redeem in a station, which is essentially like a stationary town of sorts. And that's really all I have time for today. I'll see you guys next time.